WWE has a podcast.
They did?
You just told me that.
Oh, I thought you were asking if it was scripted.
WWE is real.
I have a friend that'll fight you over it. It's real.
There's a video of the guy in the bleachers, and he's crying. He's like, "It's still real to me, damn it." I'll put that clip in now.
Next question, Jeff. Where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Easy, man.
I want to see it also.
It's a video. It's an early video of Steve just being like, wrestling is real.
When Hulk Hogan went evil, I was a little depressed.
Dude, as a kid, when Ric Flair pointed at me and my buddy, who were in the front row in Greenville, South Carolina, and because we called him out and go, "Ric Flair, you're a punk." And he goes, "You keep your mouth shut." And he pointed right at us. Changed our life. Look at me now, Ric Flair. Look at me now. Thank you, sir.
Ric Flair still got more money.
Don't you fuck with the Nature Boy.
Woo!
That was loud. Don't ever do that again. We're good. I think we'll just do a quick countdown and we'll jump in. All right, and get serious, guys. 3, 2,
1. Hey, welcome to Caffeinated and Confident. I'm Harlow.
I'm JP.
And I just interrupted his coffee break. But hey, we are moving into episode... What? What an episode are we on?
Why is that so loud, dude?
Oh. Is it this? Is it you? We'll edit all this out.
Is it? Okay, that's a little better.
All
And
right.
it was getting to where it was like, pop.
Boom. So we are on episode number 9? Episode 9.
Nah, episode
We're almost
9.
10. We're going to make it... Hey, that's a mark.
We're
Episode
going to,
10.
yeah, special episode 10.
We'll figure that out as we go.
Soon to be determined guests.
Soon to be determined guest. It has to
dig
be
it.
like maybe Ric Flair.
Oh, dude, if I can get Ric Flair on here,
Or you'll call it. That'll be the last episode.
or retire.
Okay. All right. Goals. Speak it, do it.
I know a guy.
All right. I like that. Well, today, though, jumping in, we're going to talk about motivation and discipline. A couple key points on that. Which is better?
When does one take over?
When does one take over? Yeah, I like
Which
that.
one takes over?
And are both needed? Or can you just thrive on one? Can you just thrive on one? Is that all? I just need one. So what's your thoughts on that?
Man. I tend to think that I need to, in the beginning, so whatever I'm starting, whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever, hobbies, whatever, anything. Motivation gets me started. Well, I'll back that up. I'm motivated, but then I have some sort of passion for it. So that motivation drives that passion. I get started, I get into it, I get deep, I'm doing whatever. But at some point, I've got to continue that. I've got to have some discipline to be like, all right, this is what I've got to do, to go forward. And it just becomes almost like that habit. But I've accepted that's what I have to do to reach whatever it is, goal or level of, whatever. But motivation got me started. Discipline keeps me going.
Totally agree with that. For me, it's like motivation is that emotional extension that get you hyper, get you going, get you thinking about it, maybe even researching it. I'm motivated to do a podcast, so we started asking questions to friends to, hey, what equipment do I need? What's your recommendations? I started listening to a ton of other podcasts just to see, hey, which angle we need to take. Fitness World, same thing. I watched a video of a guy, deadlifting 400 pounds. I'm like, wow, man, I think I can do that. Well, I used to. Okay, let's be real. So, then come in here and just start, deadlifting, once a week and changing up the model of all my other lifts to really concentrate on that. But at some point, that emotional connection, I won't say goes away, but it can't fuel you for the entity of success. So you got to do the discipline. You got to, coming back in, I had to program correctly and do the work. I just can't do I'm going to pull 400 pounds today. You got to do the work to get there, or run a half marathon. That's another one. I think a lot of people will like, oh man, I'm so motivated. All my friends are running half marathons. Just recently got it running. I think I'm going to do it. Okay, well, there's the emotional attachment to that running. But unless you're actually running every week, running every day almost, well, maybe not every day, but putting in some miles, you're not going to make that marathon.
And that's where I think the switch happens. So you get motivated to start running. Let's just run with that.
I like it.
So you get motivated to start running, because I had the same thing. You get motivated to start running. You want to be part of this. Everybody runs. You want to be part of that group. So it sounds like a great idea. You go out, you run your first, mile, start slow. So you realize, it's just tough. I was motivated to come out here. It's tough. I got to train because I got to run this, 5Ks, 3 miles. So the work in between is where the discipline comes in. So I can go out there day one and be really hyped about running that mile and feel really good, but day 1 through whatever until I can get to 3 miles, it's discipline that keeps me going, that accepts the fact that I can't run the 3 miles yet, but I'm taking the steps progressively to get there. So I've got to be disciplined to maintain that training regimen or whatever it is, to get up in the morning to run before work or run after work, whatever it is. But I'll eventually get there, and that the motivation, like I said, the motivation got me started, the discipline carries me through, and then
You get to the goal.
you get there.
And then just on our platform where we just want to be healthy in life, right? That's my motivation. Be a role model for my children, be healthy in life, really drive the community to be healthy around us. I love that, and I think we're both on that, really talking about it, doing the research to see what we can improve or what message we can send here on the podcast. So with that said, that's the motivation. Then get into the discipline, like you said. Discipline, it's like, I got to schedule it. Let's get the schedule rolling. But also I believe once you got motivation and discipline, and I think we may be missing a link, once you get it in the groove, it becomes routine. So it's like autopilot. And that's almost the goal, right? Like now it's not necessarily, doing the marathon, but I'm just consistent. So I'm just programmed to run 3 days a week, lift 3 days a week, and then, one day I just goof off, swim, have fun with the kids or whatever, something like that. But it's got to be that everything in life, I think, needs that progression level. If you just stay on that motivation page, well, it's going to rain for a week, and you're going to, you're like, I'm not running in the rain. And
On that note, though, there was a great video, I think Nike put it out, where it's like, I think it might be Nike, whatever. There's a motivational video out there where the guy's like, he's a runner, and you look out, you wake up early, you look outside, it's raining, and everything in your mind tells you, dude, just get back in the bed, it's fine. You'll wait till tomorrow to run when the weather's nicer, but to get up, have that discipline to be like, no, today is the day that I said I was going to run. The conditions don't matter. I need to go out and run. So he gets up, he goes out and runs in the rain, and then he's just like, the rain's not going to stop me. And then eventually you're like, oh, well, when it is nice out, it's, this is great because I've run in the rain, man, and this is like, this is nothing.
yeah, you took it to a hard level, kind of get that mental toughness.
Yep.
And now the good days are so easy. It's a joke. I don't want to say it's a joke, but it's just like, again, it's just habit. It's just you're in the groove and it happens. And we have some great examples, especially recently here. One of our members, Sam, around the first of the year, me and him have been friends a long time, long time, like a brother. He'd put on some weight, but he was just getting into those bad habits of, eating late, drinking late, not really, maybe running here and there, but just letting food and life kind of run his program. So we kind of have a little talk, and he's like, all right, first of the year, I'll come see you. Well, a lot of people say first of the year, right? Something about everybody has to set a time date, which if you want to do something, do it tomorrow. Like, I think if you keep pushing it off, it doesn't happen.
I agree with that.
And for Sam, I kind of brought it into, hey, first of the year does work because there's some, he's very competitive. He's a golfer, and he likes this stuff. So I was like, hey, there's a couple of challenges that we do around the gym. And do in, with some other places around town. Nutrition Factory at that point was running a weight loss challenge, but also muscle gain challenge. I think you'd be perfect for it. Give you some motivation. You get to see your true stat lines. They do the measurables over at Mid-10, or I should say the
Transformation Lab.
Yeah, it's Transformation Lab. And he got all his measurables, but also, all right, he was already motivated because of family history, right?
But you throw that competition in there.
Yeah. So family history was mapping him into a dark place, or, well, mapping him into a shorter life basically on the flight plan he had currently. So yeah, he gets that stat line, motivation's there, competition's motivation. But honestly, he gets in here, we get him up and going because he wasn't used to this kind of training. But consistent 3 days a week, and then he was still trying to do something outside of here. He doesn't live like right here by the gym, so he would walk, golf, even walk the course when he golfed. But he dialed in his nutrition, and I think that is a very discipline-oriented thing. The motivation was to lose weight, right? But to stay consistent on nutrition.
Oh, to not have that pizza on Friday night?
Right. But going back to that, he didn't go 100%. He was kind of 100% in the negative, in that negative path. And, he wanted to go to that positive path, but he didn't, try to swing the pendulum all the way 100% positive and just be so strict where he ate, fish, broccoli, and rice every meal, or chicken, whatever your jam is. He did like an 80-20. He dialed it in the week. He made sure weekends, Sundays, he was meal prepping, simple stuff. Chop up some veggies, throw them in the oven, bake some veggies, have some lean meats, and cut his alcohol intake on the weekends to like a fourth of what he was doing, and just really get on that train. But he was still having fun, right? He didn't deprive his. We all know food's emotional, and having that beer in your hand when you're talking to a bunch of buddies who have a beer in their hand, he didn't deprive himself of that. So, discipline got him going, but he was realistic. And also the community helped. He talked about it in here. Being around all of us helped because I'm going to have a drink on the weekends. A lot of us are. We had some margaritas the other night for our birthday party.
They were delicious.
Oh, man, they were delicious.
Yeah, they're delicious.
So just being, yes, you got to be motivated. Yes, you got to have some discipline, but you need help in the discipline department, I believe.
And I mean, specifically with Sam, to have the discipline on your own, to really lock in your diet, to really change that, and to meal prep on the weekend. That's not easy. No. I mean, to sit there and take the time to do that, or to accept the fact that I can't have this junk food every night, and that I need to have something healthier, even though this healthy option might not taste as good. Let's be honest.
Yes.
To have that discipline on your own I think is just a huge step forward and a huge advantage. But yeah, when he comes in here, myself included, it's when you're surrounded by these individuals that want to see you, like-minded, that want to see you succeed and are struggling just like you are, it almost makes it to where, okay, this isn't that bad,
Right.
They're here too.
Yeah.
If I were here by myself and struggling, there'd definitely be times where I would take advantage of breaks, or I don't need to do that. Let's cut all those in half.
And like I've talked, for me, I got to have the discipline to keep moving too, because I can't always jump in with a class. Sometimes classes are too big, or I have new clients that I'm concentrating on them, make sure they're doing proper form, or if they're not doing too many reps, or or at least they know what they're doing. So sometimes I do have to, strike up a workout after everybody's out of here or before everybody gets in here by myself. It's man, all right, here we go. Let's get in it. And that does get tough, but it's a routine. So I think that's what helps drive me. Now it's just routine. I mean, I had the discipline to make me start doing it, but routine keeps me going. And, of course, I'm motivated to be in shape because I am not the role model, but I'm the guy, if I'm going to tell you to do it, I have to do it.
Oh, and yeah.
That's my motivation, right?
Because I wouldn't take it the same if you said, "Do as I do, don't do as I do as I say do."
Right.
which I'd be like, hold on, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And there's the one old school saying is like, those who don't teach. And I'm like, I think you should be able to do it, to teach it. And that's my personal opinion. I've kind of always lived on that. But you got to be I sometimes have to be the motivating factor for clients. So I take big responsibility on that. But again, responsibility, discipline.
And they come to you for that. So.
Right. And with going back to that Sam element too, the great part about his journey, not only did he change his life, I think he's down, I don't remember the stat line exactly, but I know like body fat percentage was like at 38 when he started the journey, and now he's in like the low 20s in 6 months. I mean, we're not trying to be the biggest loser here where you see these people drop, 100 pounds in like a month.
But how many pounds did he drop? 30?
Yeah, so he's down.
That's a huge amount. I mean, that's 30 pounds?
But hey,
go pick up that 30-pound weight and carry it around, and then,
Right, but also it's healthy loss. Like, it's a lifestyle change, and this is going to carry him from here on out.
Well, with that said, then, when does that disciplined work turn into just a lifestyle?
Right, and I think, for Sam, it's now, right? Like, he still has to travel for work, but, hey, as soon as he lands, he's in here.
It's a habit. He picks up just healthy habits. He'll do some workouts when, gym workouts or workouts in the room.
Yeah, and I've sent him he has like a little PDF file where, hey, you're out of town, here's like 10 workouts, rotate them as needed. We did that early on because it was one of those, like, the battle of life. He walks in here, he gets started for a month, and then, like, comes February, he's got to travel for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so then like your schedule messes up, and then it's like, okay, well, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't have that excuse anymore. Here's the hotel workout.
Yeah. So just community. That's on me. I try to help him do that, but he had the discipline to still do the hotel workout. And maybe he didn't do all 10, but at least he was moving throughout his time period. He just didn't go do the job, go hang out at the bar for happy hour, go back to the room, crash, and repeat. He took the time to do some movement.
Yeah, well, he was disciplined enough to realize, I want to get healthy. This is what I have to do.
Yes. And it carries that we talk. Just community can have so much reach. And in the last episode, we talked about the national community needing to step up. So Sam starts his journey. And the next thing he tells me is like his wife is getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to go to some class that she wanted to do up by their house, but it was like a 5:15 class. He's like, man, I didn't think she'd stay with it, but she's killing it. I'm like, hey, it's awesome, man. So
it spreads. I mean, people see you doing it, and they're like, oh, well, if they can do it, what's my excuse?
Right. And then with Sam, so Sam keeps using Sam, but again, known him for a long time. So he was, when I first met him, he might have been like $150, like this kid, a young kid, just a skinny kid, and he could eat, but we get older and things catch up.
Sure.
So, but we have this core group of friends. Sadly, I don't get to hang out with them as much, but it was that we'd be over every weekend. We all have kids now, and we were just at a birthday party. Sam's results, I truly believe, transcended through the entire group because I ran into another buddy, Matt. Matt's looking good. Matt's lost a few pounds, and it wasn't like Matt was, hugely over,
but still.
But he was like, man, my suit, he's a kind of suit and tie guy, or was. He's like, suit's fitting a little tight, jeans fitting a little tight, and he, that was his motivation. He's like, hey, I don't like this. He dropped some pounds. Another buddy of mine, he's never been in that group. I mean, he's never been out of shape, but he drank a lot, and he found something he likes. He does some intermittent fasting, but he does it well, and does it true, looking great, right? So it's just funny to see that one piece got plugged into that community, and it transcends through the community.
And then they all somehow end up finding that motivation of their own.
Yeah, and discipline, because they all have different lives. I mean, we all have similar lives with kids and jobs, but everybody has a different path. And whatever that may be, like I said, for the one guy, intermittent fasting works, tying into, his nutrition was first. He works out too. Great combo. But his job is he's in the music world, so when he's working, could be late night and just sitting down trying to get some beats going. Luckily, he gets to work in the daytime too, so his job's very sedative when he's there. But when he's not, he's moving.
Well, it's funny how one person comes into your community, your group setting, whatever, and it spreads because it's and I'm stealing this line from another guy I found on YouTube this week, Matthew Hyatt like the hotel.
Yeah.
And his tagline is "Action begets action." So it's like the group saw that one of their members of the group or one of the members of the community is taking actions to better themselves. And then that action spread like wildfire, man. And then next thing you know, 4 or 5 people in that group are doing the same thing. And it really ties back into what we talk about, community and support system, because it makes it, you can't get through this stuff alone.
No, you can't. And you can, I'm not saying you can't start the journey. I think we've talked about some,
Yeah, you can start it by yourself because that's, discipline, but
yeah,
to carry you through it,
you got to have like-minded people. And that statement you said, action begets action. Man, that ties into like half of our episodes, right? Even going back to when we're talking about the future of health, and we're talking about find that doctor that has the same beliefs as you.
right?
And I kept talking about Dr. Nick, and the reason I talked about that guy because we have like the same beliefs, and he works out. He's a coach, and his action even relates to me, which I'm already in the field,
Right, yeah.
which makes me want to relay that to my community.
It spreads, man.
Go, just spread it.
It spreads.
Right. And we how can I say, community, like you said, holds you accountable. But I think the community being disciplined can just do so much, or the community motivation and discipline. I think we just have to put those together.
You do, because people get caught up in just the motivational part, and people can stay there forever.
Yeah.
People can, they listen to whomever podcasts or videos or inspirational speakers, go to these conferences to get really pumped up.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've done that. I listen to Gary Vee. But even he says, at some point, stop listening to him and start taking some action, start doing. Mm-hmm. And that's when that discipline kicks in. And you got to, if you want something, you've got to have that discipline to say, all right, well, I've taken enough motivation in.
Yeah.
I've got to put some action in there.
Right.
It's never going to happen.
We've got to look at motivation as starter fuel. Simple format, like starter fuel. Like you're starting your grill up, right? The grill's hot, but you got to leave it on to keep it going, right? Like you can't just listen to this great motivational speech.
I'm so hyped right now.
I'm really hyped, but
then tomorrow,
or I'm going to really look into that.
People don't. They don't.
Or even if they do, they just look into it. I think you got to go put a toe in the water, right?
Yeah.
Like if you walked in, if you watched a class from outside the glass doors here and didn't come in, just no sound, no nothing, you're just looking through the glass, you'd be like, hell no, I'm not going to go in there and be laying on the ground in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That looks awful.
But come in here, understand what's going on, the movements we're doing.
And not only that, but the community. Everyone's laying down, passed out together. It's so funny to watch after a workout. It's 100 degrees. We're in the South in summer. It's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Everyone's sweating, but everyone's so connected and so motivated together. Everybody's pushing, right? Everybody's going a little faster. You see it in the class. One person's kind of going faster, so I'm going to go faster. Oh, I'm going to go faster. At clock stops, everybody's done. And, we don't have a huge gym, but people are just crashed out beside each other, laying on the floor, so they can still talk.
Well, yeah, they still give that sweaty high five.
Yeah, the sweaty high five, and they're still, sitting right by each other in this hot box. But that's the community connection. Oh, man,
it's that shared experience.
Right. It's a great thing, and we get hyped. I get hyped about it. That's my thing.
That end, even laying on the floor, is just such a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. Great feeling, but it proves your discipline, right? Like the benefits of that conversation was because I was disciplined enough to come in.
Or to stick through that workout.
Stick through that workout. Sometimes that's probably even more so.
That's a challenge. It's all uphill. The whole workout is uphill.
I try to not design all of them that way, but they just happen.
But discipline gets you through it.
Yeah, discipline gets you through it.
And you can lay in the sweaty floor later.
Yeah, make your sweat angels, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Discipline's dragging your ass back in here. But I think
that was today's episode really tied in a lot of stuff that we talk about. Being confident, being, how to deal with failure, using failure to your advantage, support systems, community, 8th place trophies.
Yeah.
Just it really ties our message of it really ties our message of, it takes a huge support system. It takes all these pieces coming together. You can do it.
Right. Yeah. You can't build a house with one brick. Like the simple. Again, that's just another little simple analogy. You can't
keep laying bricks. I got
right. You got to, whatever. You got to build a frame. It takes a team to build a house. So you framework, bricks.
You mean it's not like it is on TV? Within like 30 minutes, they have the house done?
Well, it can be.
Okay.
Today, but you need like 600,000 people.
Okay.
Nashville works on that, right? Actually, right? Like today, there's no house. Tomorrow,
yeah. No, I'm a firm believer in that.
But again, guys, throwing it back, we are from Nashville, so we always make jokes about Nashville because we actually grew up here. But yeah, this whole thing, I'm getting hyped. Everybody probably can hear in my voice. Like, this is my motivation. And just one little last quote I've recently heard. Again, listen to podcasts, listen to these other people. It's kind of motivational, but, it's like you can only lead people as far as you've gone. So that's why that puts it in my wheelhouse of, well, I got to go do this. Like, I can't ask these people to go, do a Spartan race if I'm not.
If you've never done it yourself, yeah.
So with that said, maybe that's a good one too. So in my world, motivation got me going, discipline keeps me going. Now it's a routine, but all that has led me into being a community leader. And I think
that lifestyle setting,
right? And I'm not saying I'm blazing a trail of some of these people you see online nowadays, but even if I'm
you're carving a path,
right?
You impact people's lives being that leader.
Yeah.
Out in front saying, follow me.
Let's go. And I may fall, and if you step on me, I'll get back up and catch you or try to pass you because I'm competitive, whatever it takes. But yeah, definitely I think this motivation and discipline, the end result is you need both.
It's a combination of both. Don't rely on one more than the other. And don't get stuck on not doing.
Right. Well, don't just be motivated all the time.
You got to take some. Yeah.
I may have said that wrong. Don't always go searching for motivation. At some point, it's just got to be discipline.
That's it.
That's it. But a few things we want to talk about. Exciting, right?
Very exciting.
Exciting. Apple Podcast.
It's coming soon. We uploaded some artwork.
Yeah. You gotta have an official logo.
Yeah, because you can't upload to iTunes without artwork. So within the next couple days, we should be live on YouTube. We should be live on iTunes. We're live on YouTube already.
Yes.
And then with the YouTube, we're going to move these videos to their own Caffeinated and Confident YouTube page. I'll link all that once it's up and running, so that we can make all this in one space.
And always reach out to us on social media. Right now, Instagram's our big one. Of course, you can always comment on the YouTube videos. We love feedback. Good, bad, ugly. It's the internet, which is funny. You always see the bad stuff. We haven't seen necessarily too many good or bad. So, we're looking for true comments.
Feedback, comments.
Yeah.
If you like it, share this stuff, share this information, share the podcast. Tell your friends, tell whoever.
Tell everybody.
Yeah, tell everybody. Yeah. And, come join us here.
Actually, now we're in this groove of rolling them out weekly, which is what we want to get into. Discipline, making sure we're getting a weekly podcast. All the social medias, we're always hitting funny stuff and serious stuff and stat lines. So definitely check that out. We're trying to help people drive health, wellness, and community.